Namaste Ji. Namaste all. We will begin with a prayer from Vedas, a mantra, Gayatri mantra and Ashiv Sankalpa mantra. Om. 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 Bhurvasva Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yoraha Prachodayat. Om Yajjagrato Dhuramodayiti Daivam Tadu Suptasya Tathaivaiti Durangamam Jyotisham Jyotirekam Tanme Manaha Shiva Sankalpamastu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So the topic for today's first session is five-fold universe, Pancha Kosha. Our speaker for this session is Dr. Harishchandra, and I welcome him to address all of you. Thank you.
Namaste, everybody. It's my pleasure to be here this morning talking to you that we can visualize the whole world, universe, as if they are in 5 layers. And it is said, Yatha Brahmande Tatha Pinde. What it means is, whatever is happening in the universe, in any corner, the similar events are taking place in this system. The human system is most complex system. That any complexity anywhere in the universe can also be found here. That is why we say, if I have got the correct answer to who am I, if I know exactly what I am, who I am, why do I function in a particular manner, what are the different forces working within me, then I know everything. That is what the situation is like. But the irony of the situation is, most of the people don't know what we are or what we are capable of. We just lead our life, just time is moving, cyclic. We also go to bed, wake up, do certain routines mechanically, and the day is over. At most, we enjoy food and certain other things. But this is what is the purpose of this summer camp. When you don't have the day-to-day pressure of homework from the school, etc., you can do some thinking you have some luxury of time. So the basic question, and that is the strength of the Sanatan Hindu Vedic Dharma. So today what I am going to discuss is very important. Not only the way it describes the universe, from that description I can borrow fantastic ideas that I can chalk out my life in the best possible manner in my own interest. I have all the freedom. I have all the assets. I have nothing to complain. Nothing is missing. Nothing is lacking. We all can move forward to the ultimate. And we have discussed in last 4 days, so many things. What is consciousness? We said the world is inhabited by 3 eternal entities. They are always there. Of course, in high school you know it. Matter can neither be created nor destroyed. Matter is always there. That is what we call Prakriti. Then you have very well heard, Atma never dies. You have heard it many times. So our consciousness, that Atma Tattva, that is a tiny point. Just like a point you press it on a graph paper. It's smaller than that. That is Jivatma. And then there is a Brahma, Ishwar. These are the 3 entities. Prakriti, Atma, and Ishwar. Just like we said in the early part of the camp, carpenter makes the wooden desk out of wood. So carpenter is here, makes the wooden desk out of wood for me and you to use it. I and you are consciousness, but we don't know exactly how to make wooden desk. Carpenter is more knowledgeable, more skilled in that. But both of us are conscious. Wood lacks consciousness. So Prakriti, now instead of carpenter and wooden desk, today we are going to talk about this vast, infinite universe. The world, the earth, the solar system, our Milky Way, the galaxy. There are billions of other galaxies. There is no end to this universe. So we are saying instead of carpenter, it is Ishwar. In place of wooden desk, this is universe. Ishwar makes the universe for me and you. We are Jivatma. Even animals, birds, insects, reptiles, fishes, all are included here. So this is the 3 eternal entities. The matter goes through transformation. The other 2 entities never go through any transformation. Matter, this is the myriad of, that's what we'll see today. So there is a set of mantras in Atharvaveda that this is my body frame. They call it as Annamaya Kosha. Anna meaning food grain. Wheat, rice, barley, maize, all this. And by extension, it means fruits, vegetables, and everything. All the produce that our Mother Earth produces for our survival, that is called Anna. This is a word because we are looking at this system This is a word for matter. And we are being told the very outer body, this visible body frame that we can touch and feel, is made of matter. You might have attended a funeral, might have, or seen a dead body. If not a dead human being, maybe an animal on the side of the street, or an insect. If you went to a real summer camp in the camp area, you did some camping in the wooded area, you might have seen a dead animal, dead bird, dead insect. It is made of matter, but has no consciousness. It is just matter. Body is made of matter. Now, what is the difference between dead body and living being? Even as you see your brother or sister sleeping, you can feel it. He is very much a living being. There is a life force, is it not? Even from a distance, if your brother or sister has, covered with a blanket, you can see chest is expanding and contact, is it not? That is a sign for even layperson like us that we can see from a distance he is a living being, he is not a dead body. And if you get closer, if you know something, you touch the pulse, you can feel the heartbeat. Pumping heart on the left side of chest. That is working like a water pump. Water pump forces the water to go up against the gravity. It puts in the energy and develops some kind of a force that water moves up. And we all, human beings, animals, are blessed with a pumping heart here. Is it not? So when you visit a doctor, they check the blood pressure. On the higher side, 135 mm of mercury. On the lower side, 70 mm of mercury. So it's 135 minus 70. We know it's 65 millimeter of mercury. Mercury has a specific gravity of 13.5 or 8. I forget many things that I learned in high school, but you will still remember it. Specific gravity of mercury is 13 point something. Let's take it 13.5. Now 65 millimeter of mercury, if this pump was lifting the water, then 65 millimeter, that difference, into the gravity, specific gravity of mercury, 13.5, will be very much close to 1000 millimeter, about 1 meter, or more than that. So just imagine, that is the glory of that Ishwar. What kind of a pump he makes and we all are equipped with. Just imagine a pump made by a huge factory, very precise pump. What does it do? It lifts water just 1 meter high. 1 meter, nowadays in America, people are more talking in inches, but as a scientist, you always want to be in what is called SI system. System international, is it? So 1 meter, if you are difficulty in comprehending what it means, it is almost like 3 feet some inches extra. So what is the beauty of this pump? This is lifting water to, in this case it is blood, 1 meter high, non-stop. And if somebody has a life of say 100 years, his pump has been working non-stop for 100 years. Every moment lifting water to the height of 1 meter, slightly more than that. We are blessed with this pump. I am not sure. If any company gives me a pump, says this will work 100 years non-stop, will I trust him? There will be an element of doubt. But this is the pump we are working. So I was saying a living being has respiratory system working, cardiac system working. That is the life force, is it not? So body is made of matter, but then there is a force work. And the force is, in this particular system, is always cyclic. Like breathing is cyclic. You know, there is compression of air in my lungs. Pressure builds up more than atmospheric pressure. So the used air, which has too much of carbon dioxide, that gets thrown out because of pressure differential. The diaphragm is going up, making compression, pressure builds up, used air is thrown out. Now that diaphragm, that is like a piston, goes downward, it creates suction. Now the lung pressure is less than the atmospheric pressure. So it suctions the atmospheric air, which is rich in oxygen, is it not? Then again, diaphragm goes up. This is happening non-stop. Any engine we drive in an automobile, piston goes up and down. But then you switch off the engine. If you go on running the engine, it will go bad. It will just collapse. But this is an unusual piston. For 100 years, it just goes on non-stop. So now we are talking about a life force which is cyclic in nature, which works non-stop. And if it were to stop, the whole system will collapse. It will become a dead body. We gave a special name, that is our Vedic Rishi. He calls this force as Prana. Prana is the name of this. And medical scientists also realize something is very unusual in this system. They say all these are non-voluntary forces. Non-voluntary forces meaning they work even when I go to sleep. I am not conscious, but many things are happening in this system. He calls it as non-voluntary forces. And Vedic scientists called it as Prana. Both mean the same thing, but Prana has a better meaning. Because Prana is another name of Ishwar. Scientists will say nature does it, but Vedic scientists says it, Ishwar does it. So when Ishwar applies the force, we call it is pranic force, pranebhyo namah, is it not? Pranapan, Vyan, Saman, Udan. These are 5 great forces that he ensures that I am able to function in this world as he wishes, as he has designed me. Now comes the next layer, we go inside. This is what the set of Atharvaveda mantras are saying. And a beautiful Upanishad is also saying. If you go further inner, what will happen then next? So if you go inside the body, under my Kosha, there is Pranamaya. If you go further inward, how do we go? not by a knife. Because by knife you don't see pranic force. You see the movement due to the force, is it not? So the next thing is certainly invisible. That is called manomaya kosh. That is mind, but it is a outer mind, where you feel sukh and dukh, and you activate your motor organs. You lack discrimination. You are not able to decide right and wrong. But you feel good and bad, sukh or dukh. That is the outer part of mind, that is called manomaya kosh. If you go further inward, now comes fourth layer or fourth sheath. We are talking about 5 layers, Pancha Kosha. The fourth is, Sanskrit term is Vijnanamaya Kosha. Now this is much inner part of our human mind. So you have to understand the difference between Manomaya Kosha and Vijnana. Manomaya Kosha gives you feeling. It helps you walk, run, and manipulate things here and there, so on and so forth. What animals do as well as human beings do. So Manomaya Kosha is something animals have. And as we have learned in last couple of days, they are programmed, is it not? They are always right. They are never wrong. But human beings have another inner domain that we call as Vijnanamaya, where we have inner part of our mind, that is our intellectual layer. What is this buddhi, intellect, doing? Discriminating between right and wrong, good and bad, punya and apunya, do's and don'ts. So, as a human being, we cannot get away from this. We are always confronted with multiple choices, and we have to pick one out of them, is it not? And that is why sometimes we are right, sometimes we are wrong. But we want to be always right. We always want to be on the side of Dharma. But some of us, or even we, slip down and go on the side of Adharma. Of course, it is nice to say, it would be nice if we were always right, like animals are always right. But then we have discussed this at length, then we would be another animal, is it not? So we are blessed. Animals have 3 layers: Annamaya Kosh, Pranamaya Kosh, and Manomaya Kosh. But we human beings have another inner layer, Vijnanamaya Kosh, where we exercise discrimination. Sad asat vivekvati buddhi. Buddhi helps me discriminate between sat and asat, truth and falsehood, true and untrue, right and wrong, punya and apunya, pap, whatever you call it, virtue or vice, do's and don'ts. All these dualities are for us, and we are intellectually functioning, wondering always what is right and wrong. Now, what is the 5th layer? That's why this presentation is not just trying to understand the universe, making best use out of it. This much I have said even modern psychologists will accept. Maybe even scientists, biologists, everybody will accept. That is what I keep saying. Sanatan Hindu Vedic Dharma is one step beyond mainstream science. So that's why such camps are organized, that our children become future leaders of science. Future leaders of science. What is the fifth layer? This term has been coming very often, last 4 days. The fifth layer is Anandamaya Kosha. Because as we saw, in Manomaya Kosha, we go through fluctuation of Sukha and Dukkha. But even an intellectual human being who has Vijnanamaya Kosha, even he cannot guarantee he is always in Sukha and never in Dukkha. So, that Ishwar has given us an opportunity that we can enter into even the fifth layer in Anandamaya. That's what we discussed yesterday by way of Samadhi. So at that time, I am immersed in an infinite ocean of Ishwar, who is Satchidananda Swarup. So I am getting that wonderful, out of the world. We have no idea what to call it. We just call it Anand. If I were to translate into English, there will be problem. There are certain terms in our philosophy we cannot translate into any other language. Anand is Anand. Because when I am connected to my body and mind, I go through Sukha and Dukkha. When I say, okay, I want to relax, don't want to do anything with my body, but my mind is thinking. Then also I go through Shanti or Ashanti. Nobody can say my mind is always at peace. It is never agitated or never disturbed. So when I am both connected to body and mind, both, I am fluctuating between Sukha and Dukkha. When I am disconnected from my body, but still connected to my mind, I am dwindling between Shanti and Ashanti. So Vedic Rishi told us, if you know how to disconnect from your mind also, then you will be, now there is only one intact Anand. This doesn't have negative counter. Like Sukh has Dukh, Shanti has Ashanti, but Anand, Anand is Anand. There is no second alternative there. Nothing to talk opposite. You are in Anand and only. And that Ishwar is by very inherent nature of this. And have you noticed something peculiar in our life? I have described many differences between animals, birds on one side, human beings on one side. Is it not? They are programmed, we have freedom, so many other things. But there is one very interesting. Today we are talking Anand. It's not a very simple issue. You have to understand. Suppose you have a dog at home. Many children love dog. I have a friend, young friend. He loves dog like anything. What would you do for the dog? You are concerned about quality of life for the dog. Oh, it's getting too hot. I cannot let my dog be outside. Let me bring inside. There is some air conditioning. Okay? You can improve quality of life. It's too cold outside. It might even freeze. Okay. If there is a dog house, I'll put some layers. I'll give a blanket underneath over the dog and all that so that he gets warmth. Okay. You have improved his quality. Take care of his food, water, and maybe a mate also, one male, one female. Okay. You think very hard. What all I can do to improve the quality of life of my dear dog, whatever the name is. But at one point, you say, I have no other idea. And dog also has no idea. Is it not? This we call it as saturation point. Happiness index is saturated. There is nothing more a dog can do to improve its quality of life. Nothing more you can do to improve its quality of life. But now, instead of a dog, suppose you have a friend. And suppose something happened in his hurricane or earthquake. Everything was demolished. And you have, with the case of God, you have a lot of money and all that. So you visit your friend. He said, I want to improve your quality of life. Give me a list, what all you want. He gives a list, 50 things. You have online order, you place order, 50 things, all are delivered to his household 2 hours later. Everything done. Now you visit your friend 1 day later. You must be the happiest person in the world. You needed 50 things and you got all the 50 things. Still your friend has some problems. It's not that he is the happiest man in the world. He has another list. Oh, I forgot this, I forgot that. Now when I do this, I miss that thing. When I go to sleep, I miss that. He has another list of, if not 50, this time 40 things. You again place an order. Again he gets 40 things. Again you visit next day. Now you must be the happiest man in the world. No dukh. Then again he has some problem. If not, he has a problem that my neighbor is shouting, playing music hard when I go to sleep. Or he will say, I saw this news on the TV, some children in Syria were killed. That has disturbed me a lot. So, human beings, what is the moral of this story? Can never be made happy. It was so easy to make your dog happy. There was a saturation point. But human beings, you can go to your parents, you can go to your neighbors, all in the community. You can visit all the billion households in the world. Find out, are you the happy? Even the richest man, don't want to name him, they just had a divorce. The richest man in the world and his wife, they have so much money they cannot even count with all the machines working. But God knows what happened in their house. The husband and wife have decided to separate. They think now separation will make them happier. But will they become happier? A human being by design is like this. He will never be saturated with sukha or shanti. There is only one way out. That's what our Vedic rishis knew. To dive deep into Anandamaya Kosha. And once you have a taste of that Anand, that is a permanent change in your life. Then you say, I don't need anything from the world. I am saturated. And what is it? That is within the innermost layer. That is the closest thing to me. That is the irony. Even my mind is slightly away from me. My body is slightly away from me. But the closest to me is Anandamaya. So there are a lot of beautiful bhajans. Ananda Sabeha Fibi Tu Das. These bhajans are highlighting the irony of the human life, that Anandamaya Kosha is so close to you, but you are unhappy, you are sad, you are in pain and misery, you are in distress. This is something of your own making. This is not Ishwar's fault. Let us look at a diagram, and then we will review all this, what we have discussed. This is a schematic representation of what we are talking. Very simple. There is nothing new here, but those terms have been written down. So some Sanskrit terms, if you are unfamiliar, you can see them. The title is, what is the title of the presentation? Fivefold Universe. And if we understand it intelligently, we can make a course of our life towards holistic development. The beauty of Sanatan Dharma is not to lose worldly sukha and shanti. I want to maintain that. Over and above that, I want to capture Ananda. I don't want to leave this world, commit suicide to get that out. I want to live in this world, and within this world, there is a very special corner where that is very close to me, where there is infinite reservoir of Anand. I want to get access to that. Still remaining in this world. So let us try to understand. These are 5 lines here. I will go fast. Anandamaya. First, I will read only the one part. Sanskrit terms, Anandamaya Kosha. English translation that is very faulty, inadequate, but I just did it for the fun of it. Blissful layer. This is now from inside to outward. Next in layer is Vijnanamaya Kosha. You can call it layer or sheath or an envelope. Is it not? So just imagine as if I am deep inside and there are one layer after another. 5 coverings, 5 layers, 5 sheets. So the closest to me was Anandamaya Kosha. I translated as blissful layer. What is written in parenthetically, I will read it slightly later. Next layer, Vijnanamaya Kosha, intellect layer. The next layer, Manomaya Kosha, we just call it mind layer, where joy and pain is felt. At intellect layer, I decide right and wrong, discrimination. Now comes Pranamaya Kosha, where the life force is there. Is it not? Which I mentioned is cyclic in nature. That is life force. And then fifth outermost layer is Annamaya Kosha. Anna is made of, Anna means food that we eat. Of course, our body grows because of our consumption of food, is it not? But in a philosophical sense, we will look at it as pure matter. So Annamaya Kosh, I have not translated as food gain. This is matter. So let's look at it. So as I started the story, the matter is Prakriti. I and you, myself, are Jivatma, and we have consciousness. Because of consciousness, we have three powers: ability to know, gain knowledge, ability to feel the experience as joy or pain, and ability to act upon our surroundings, what is called action. So Sanskrit term is jnana, bhog, and karma. So yesterday whole day was devoted to dharma and karma, is it not? We have discussed at length, day before yesterday. We have discussed dharma and karma, Ishwar, Jeev, and Prakriti. We have discussed all these things. Now we are just trying to synthesize and make a kind of a complete picture that can guide us back. So now again we go from the lowest line, the matter. Now we give some example. This is something that doesn't change as such with time, is it not? Like drop of water, let's say if it is just H2O molecule somewhere, or nitrogen, or oxygen, or a sand particle, if you just put it in laboratory under a glass cover, it just stays there like that. It goes through no transformation. In particular, if you put it as a liquid nitrogen, then nothing changes, is it not? So a stone just remains stone. A drop of water just remains drop of water. That has nothing but only matter, is it not? And as if once it is made, that doesn't exchange anything to the surrounding. Now we are looking at so many other things in the universe. Of course, we know universe has these kind of things. But then in the next layer, we see the plants and microorganisms like bacteria and this particular virus and whatnot, all these. They have matter, this plus some life force working within them. Like a plant, it just doesn't stay alone. It exchanges air with the atmosphere, you know it. They emit oxygen, and in the presence of sunlight, they absorb carbon dioxide, and certain chemistry goes on. Is it not? So there is some sort of an exchange with the surrounding that we call as pranamaya. So plants are twofold entities. There are many entities in the universe that is just one dimensional. They just have matter. But plants and microorganisms have matter plus some sort of life force is working with it. Now we come across conscious being. They could be treated as conscious being, pranamaya kosh, but then they are in permanent sleep, is it not? If you wish to look at them as a conscious being, but they are in permanent sleep, that they are unconscious for that time period. Now come the animals, birds, fishes, insects, reptiles, all those species, they preserve consciousness and exhibit consciousness by way of experience. We can see they feel joy or pain. Sometimes we see they have some knowledge also, but their knowledge is slightly different from ours. We call their knowledge as instinctive knowledge. They inherit it at the time of birth. That is what we call as a particular knowledge pattern that is programming their life. And they, of course, do some action also. But then philosophically, we said their action does not go through the wheel of law of karma. So it's philosophically not quite karma. They are just doing what they are expected to do. So they always follow their dharma, is it not? So knowledge-wise, they are always right. They are never wrong, is it not? And action-wise, they are always right. They never do the adharma. They always do their dharma. That's where human beings have both mix up, is it not? That's what we'll see next layer. So animals have 3 layers within them: Annamaya Kosh, Pranamaya Kosh, Manomaya. Now, as we saw, that is the beauty of Satya Sanatan Hindu Vedic Dharma, that human species, not that to feel arrogant, but we feel privileged as if we have high order of duty and responsibility, is it not? We can spoil the planet or we can preserve it properly. Animals never spoil the environment. They never spoil the planet. It is only we do it because we do adharma, is it not? So we have to understand our responsibility. We are born with 4th layer, Vijnanmaya Kosh, where we exercise discrimination, knowledge-wise as well as action-wise. Of course, experience-wise, bhog-wise, we are like animals. We also feel joy and pain. If somebody puts a knife on my throat, I feel the pain. And so does an animal. So does a bird, is it not? But when it comes to jnana and karma, I am superior. I have to exercise greater responsibility. Have to investigate the truth properly. That's why we have scientists and philosophers. We have Devata, Manushya, and Rakshas, is it not? So in animals, they don't have such categories. But Vijnanmaya Kosh makes us category. That's why we learned yesterday 4 Varnas and Grihasthashram. We are always concerned about our dharma, what is the right thing I should do in a given moment of time, and so on and so forth. And for that to be done properly, I am intellectual. I lack instinctive knowledge. As a human being, we are weak in instinctive knowledge, but then by our intellectual faculty, there is no boundary. We can gain as much knowledge as you want. It's infinite. Only Ishwa is Sarvajya. We are always Alpajya, limited knowledge, is it not? But we are always interested in broadening our knowledge horizon. All these 4 layers, almost everybody will accept. Scientists, mainstream scientists, psychologists, everybody will accept. But this is where the beauty of the Vedic culture, beauty of the Vedic scientist comes. He is able to motivate us that I have another layer. Every human being has it. And every human being with some effort can enter into that 5th layer. So 5th layer is for human beings. No animals can go up to that. Animals are up to the 3 ladders. Human being by birth has 4 layers. That's why I said we have no saturation point. There is always a feeling of vacuum inside. Sometimes we don't even know what we want, but something we feel there is missing. I wish I had more, something. I may not even know what I want, is it not? So that sort of sense of vacuum is always there until you are able to enter into the fifth layer. And this is a misnomer to say enter. Actually, I am sitting right at the apex of the pyramid. But I am so nice jumping around all these 5 layers that I don't even notice that the tiniest layer, I am just crossing it over. I just don't look at it. I simply ignore it, is it not? Though it is closest to me. But if I want to be here, I must withdraw myself from here, from Pranamaya Kosha, from Manomaya Kosha, from Vijnanmaya Kosha, and be within this. That is what is Yog Darshan, our rishis are talking. How to calm your mind, because getting disconnect from body is not that difficult. The challenge comes getting disconnect from Manomaya Kosha, and further greatest challenge is Vijnana. This is what Patanjali called a Chitta. Chitta Vritti Nirodha, you might have heard of it. Patanjali's statement in Yoga Darshan. If I can calm down all the fluctuations in this layer, this is the biggest challenge. Then I am automatically here, fifth layer. And those who gain the, today we have different criteria of success. Somebody is able to enter into White House, we say he's a very successful man. Somebody is able to enter into Fortune 500 list, he is a successful man. Somebody gets a Nobel Prize in physics, chemistry, we say he is a successful man, is it not? But when you say he is successful, somebody else in the world will say, I don't think that was really success. He will point out a few more things here. So what is universal success? So believe me, if you can, this is the universally successful human being who has entered into Anandamaya Kosha, who knows how to get there, and he is able to get there, and when he comes out, he looks a much different person. Then many people are likely to say, he is a nice, good human being, is it not? So that is what is holistic development of humans. In remaining 5 minutes, I will talk something that is deep philosophy. But if you listen to me carefully, you will understand it. Again, coming back to 3 entities, Ishwar, Jeev and Prakriti. The Jeev is a tiny point at the apex of the pyramid. When he is using all the 5 layers, he is active in all this, he is awake, that is called Jagrat Avastha. Okay. Now he withdraws, like we go to sleep, he withdraws inward. You know, we are never, look at this Pranamaya course, is very unusual. Even though you withdraw from it, this keeps on functioning. That's why we say it is not that we are causing those forces, Ishwar does it. So that is going to happen in background because it must happen. If it is called stops for a while, I will be dead. So that is Ishwar's design. Even though I am going into samadhi, I am going into sleep, he says to me, don't worry. All these essential vital systems of your system will keep on working. I will take care of them. So we do go to sleep. We never worry what will happen to my breathing. Is it not? It goes on. So that is Ishwar's guarantee that I have given you body and mind. You use it properly. How do they work? That is my business. That I will take care of. So that when you want to lift your hand, you will be able to lift your hand. When you want to walk, you will be able to walk. When you want to close your eyes, you will be able to close. When you want to open your eyes, I will ensure that all these things will remain functional and you will be the owner of all these systems. That is the beauty of this. Is very unusual layer, pranic layer, is it not? Pran. Now I am saying, we have discussed this yesterday, day before also, Sushupti, Samadhi, Moksha. Now what is happening? This pure matter is Prakriti, and these are very minute forms of Prakriti, is it not? So when it comes to Sushupti, as I said, plants are in permanent sleep, so I am now in the second layer, first and second layer. That time I am in Sushupti. Is that okay? What does it mean? Just imagine as if there are two infinite oceans. So in engineering physics, we call them as two continuum. Plural is continua. So one continuum is that of Prakriti, matter, and another continuum is that, you know it, omnipresent Ishwar. Both are there everywhere. And I and you are one single small point. So when I am deep in the ocean of Prakriti, I am disconnected from my body and mind. If I am connected to my body and mind, I am awake. If I am disconnected from my body, but I am connected to my mind, I am in dream state. You know, my mind is still functioning. Mind is always functioning. Don't bother about it. So I am not here, but I am here. Now the question arises, when I am disconnected from my body as well as mind both, now there are two possibilities. One is, you didn't do it. Ishwar did it so that you get good quality rest for the body and mind. When Ishwar disconnects you from both body and mind, then you are immersed in the infinite ocean of Prakriti. That is called Sushupti. So as I said, you are now in Sushupti. You are like in only first layer. Of course, second layer is working. But you have no feeling of Manomaya Kosha. No Sukha and Dukha is happening. But we love that deep sleep, is it not? That was Sushupti. That comes to us as default. Every human being in childhood has got it. And this is a good indicator as you are becoming an adult. If you are losing your Sushupti, it means your life is going in the wrong direction. And that wrong direction may even take you to insomnia, that you don't even get sleep. You will become dependent on sleeping pills. That is horrible. If you understand Sanatana Hindu Vedic Dharma, that is not your direction. What is this holistic development of humans? this title of this slide. What is it? This is, I preserve the beauty of Sushupti, deep, dreamless sleep that he grants me when he takes me into the ocean of matter. That is also very good. I feel refreshed, but that is not Anand. So, what am I learning? That is what is. I learn to be in the fifth layer. So, I get an idea. Something like Sushupti I do in the daytime, and being my body and mind inactive thoroughly and disconnect. But when I do it, I find immersed in Ananda Sagar. Now I am in the continuum of Ishwar, not in the continuum of Paket. So I hope you have understood these two states of ours, Sushupti and Samadhi. We must continue to deserve Sushupti. And we must practice hard, get the ownership of our body and mind to the extent that I can make my body, mind as inactive as they obtain in Sushupti. But when I do it myself, then I don't get immersed in the ocean of matter. I get immersed in the ocean of Ishwar, Satchidananda. And then I am in Ananda. As I practice this, this is guaranteed you will become a superior quality of human being, a successful human. That is what we are learning from Satya Sanatan Hindu Vedic Dharma. 5 layers that form this universe. And Yatha Brahmande Tatha Pinde, there are 5 layers within me also, in external world as well as in inner world. And what I learn is, I want to get the key to enter into Ananda. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Harishchandra. We can see how deep and scientifically proven and wonderful theory our rishis have given to us, which cannot be challenged, or it is. So we all should take pride of our heritage, this rich heritage. What else I can say? No other religion here, because we are not religion. So we should understand no other religion can think beyond such tiny things. And many thousands and million years ago, we were blessed with such things. So if anyone has any question or to add to it, to say, please unmute yourself. Yes, please.
Namaste all. Dr. Harish ji, it's not relevant to here, but I wanted to ask you, while speaking, you mentioned a bhajan about Anand. You said few words when you were some Anand bhajan. Can you retell those words, please?
These are Anand Srot बह रहा परतु उदास है, अचरज है जल में रह के भी मछली को प्यास है.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Can Dr. Harish please identify the 5 folds of universe briefly? I know he's talked about Pind and Brahmand being similar, but just to complete that thought, What are the five folds of universe?
मैं समझ नहीं पाया, फिर से बोलेंगे तो।
जी, आपने कहा कि ब्रह्मांड, ब्रह्म और पिंड एक है. You describe very eloquently 5 folds of pind, human beings. But can you please identify the 5 folds of Brahmand, Brahma?
Okay, thank you. No, actually there are 3 entities: the matter, and out of matter the universe is made. The maker is Ishwar, and it is made for our benefit. We are the end user and beneficiary. We are conscious beings. Now, when Ishwar makes a disturbance in Prakriti, then that wave force is called as Pran. So interaction of Ishwar with Prakriti is his appearance as Pran. So now there are different levels of interaction between Ishwar and matter, Prakriti, and between us and Prakriti. So first thing in making of the universe is Etan Satyancha Viddha Tapaso Adhijayat. So as said in Rigveda, he excites the matter one way or another. That's how space and time and many other things are created. That excitation is, he is Ishwar, but now he is called as Pran because he is applying force on matter. So Pran is another name for Ishwar, but when it is functioning in a peculiar manner. So from Vedic point of view, of course, somebody is breathing. Yes, the respiratory system is working, but we will say his Pran is functioning. Means Ishwar is still letting his system work in a nominal sense. So that is, for us, Pran has a definite meaning. Okay. Now it comes that he wants to send me into this world. So probably, I don't exactly remember. I think in the afternoon we have this topic. Now this me, what is called Jivatma, has 2 possible states. He is either in bondage or he is liberated. Baddha or mukta, what is called. So one who is in bondage is bonded by something, bonded to something. That closest thing is called as buddhi. So as we have seen here also, the intellect level layer was the closest to me. Of course, closest was Anandamaya Purush, because I am actually within that Anandamaya. But that way, the next is my buddhi. So when I am tied to that buddhi, I become a baddha jiva. I am in bondage now. That I have to end up into this world, what is called samsara. Otherwise, one who is mukta, he is not in samsara. He is permanently in ananda. So, you have to remember, I am a discrete point, whereas there are 2 infinite continua. So the mukta jiva is permanently in the continuum of Ishwar. While one who is a baddha jiva, who is in bondage, he has to go through the fluctuations of interaction with Prakriti, because bonding is with Prakriti. So the finest, subtlest particle of Prakriti is called Mahat. Functionally, it is Buddhi. So I am tied to that Buddhi. That is called as Hridaya Granthi. That is what is bondage. So I am connected to that. And that will continue in the cyclic form, birth and death and birth and death. So even when I die after this life, that my so-called my mind will go with me because they are tied together. Now when that has been tied to, so that is how I have been permanently tied to matter. Because I am singularity, I cannot be tied to gross matter like body, direct, you know. So there has to be a subtle zone of matter to which I am tied. So, you know, me, I cannot just inhabit this body as, because I am singularity and body is a gross domain. So there has to be a connecting domain, and that connecting domain is coming from matter alone. So now that matter alone provides my connecting domain, and that connecting domain in our philosophy we call it as mind. But this is not to be confused with the brain here. Here the mind is subtle particles that are enveloping me, my consciousness. Now that envelope of mind has outer side and inner side. Outer side was called as Manomaya Kosh and inner side was called as Vijnana Kosh. So this is all, this picture is valid for a Baddha Jeev because he is in this world as in bondage. But bondage is not permanent. This bondage, the purpose of the bondage is so that I can come out of this bondage. So coming out of this bondage, this is the knowledge Vedic Rishi is trying to tell us. If you are in you as a human life form, periodically able to enter into Anandamaya course by Samadhi, then you are qualified enough that upon death you will be a Mukti Jeev. Now that knot will be opened up, you know, then you will be permanently in the infinite ocean of Ishvara. But even as a Baddha Jeev, he is giving us a message. So we look at Sushupti in a very positive manner. So Sushupti is a message to us for a common lay person that this is very fantastic because I am untouched by any dukh during those hours of deep, dreamless sleep. Is it not? So Sushupti is something attracts my attention. And I noticed I was untouched by dukh because I was disconnected from mind. So I begin to think, let me create a replica of Sushupti, and that is what Samadhi is. So Sushupti is something even the common man is aware of. When he, for a moment, I stay as a Baddha Jeev, but I am immersed in the infinite ocean of Prakriti, then I am more or less unconscious. But that unconsciousness is desirable, that I learn a lesson of life, that if I have my body and mind both inactive, so what it means is basically Sukh and Dukh is fluctuation of mind. If I disconnect from my mind, I will be in Samadhi, in the infinite ocean of Ishvara. But as default, he periodically takes me and dips me into the infinite ocean of Prakriti. So this is an interplay of me, Prakriti and Ishvara in varying degrees. As a Baddha Jeev, I am tied permanently, but still he shows me out of his kindness that though you are connected to matter, even deep in the matter in that ocean, you are aware of. That is Sattvajas Samyavastha package. So he takes me into that Samyavastha, where there is no fluctuation of anything, because it is equilibrium of three gunas. So I am in Sushupti. Then, I hope you have understood what I was trying to say.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
जी,
Okay, I think unless there is another question.
गरिमा जी आपका हाथ उठा हुआ है. You have raised. Okay. So let us close this session for now. There will be a 40 minutes break for all of us, and our next session will start the central time 11. The topic for the session will be Hindu history texts, Ramayana and Mahabharata, and the presenter will be Ami Ganatra. So please be on time. There is going to be another interesting session. So we will see you. We thank Dr. Harishchandra ji for this amazing session. And we will see you next time again in the afternoon session. Thank you all. Thank you. See you.